As we walk through this assignment, I want to talk to you a little bit about using non-destructive techniques in Photoshop. They allow you to use layers, adjustment layers, all kinds of things to affect your image without actually changing the basic pixels of the original file. So you can always go back and undo or get rid of anything that you've done easily. It's always also good to make copies of your files if you're going to be doing quite a few manipulations on them. But today we're going to be looking at this non-destructive technique of removing blemishes from a photo, which is very common. You need to remove some things from images to make it look better. So the first thing you need is this nondestructive.psd Photoshop image. Just save the link. I'm going to put it on I have it on my desktop actually right there. So I don't need to download it again. And we'll go to Photoshop and we will open it. There it is. Nondestructive.psd. Now again, I'm using the newest version, the 2021 Photoshop, and I'm using the Workspace of Essentials default. So your file that you're gonna give me is gonna have two layers. So we'll have two layers, one with the original image on it, just like it looks here with all the blemishes and things, and then number two will be the corrected layer. All right. So let's look at this. So I'm gonna double click this and go ahead and just have it be a layer, and then I'm going to come down here to the bottom of the layers panel and click this plus sign, and it's going to add another layer for me to do my corrections on. All right. Up here on your tools panel, you're going to want to select the spot healing tool, which is here. You also have a healing brush. You've got all kinds of things you can correct with, but we're going to use the spot healing brush. And the spot healing brush just does some things with the content aware filter in Photoshop, and it helps to blend your spot removal, blemish removal, in with the background. So we'll be doing it on layer 1. Make sure that layer 1 is active. And then if you want, you can zoom in to be able to find these. Now you can use the zoom tool, although I tell people not to ever use the zoom tool. I always use spacebar and command or control, and that gives me the plus sign here. If you're on a Windows, it kind of looks like you're doing hook 'em horns. You do spacebar, control. If you're on a Mac, you do a peace sign, which is spacebar, command. And then you can just zoom in to get a little closer to see the blemishes that you want to remove. Again, you're on layer 1. You're on the spot healing brush tool. Now, you can do very small brush size, or you can make it larger. To make the brush larger, just use your right or left bracket. Right makes it bigger, left bracket makes it smaller. So I'm also going to go up here, and under my hardness, I'm going to turn it down to 0. That way it has a real feathered edge instead of a nice hard sharp edge. Okay? Now we go here and we just draw over the top of it, holding down the mouse, and then let go. And it miraculously disappears. Well, you can even remove freckles if we want. If we think any kind of blemish that we want to take off from this image, we can do with the spot healing brush. It's really nice. And if you want to see your progress, you can just turn off layer 1. You can see what you've removed. So if you're like, hey, I want to get rid of this little area and that, this. You just go through and do all your corrections. If you get real adventurous, you can zoom in here and try to remove her nose ring. You know, maybe Maybe you went off to college and you're sending a picture back to mom and you didn't tell her that you got your nose ring. You may want to remove it before you go home. That way you can talk to her before you go home and she sees it for the first time. All right. So we're going to remove all those things. I'll just quickly get a few more here just so I can get most of them out of the way. There we go. There's what it looked like before. Here's what it looked like after. Very simple thing to do. I want to show you a couple other things that you can do additionally if you'd like to. You can take these layers, and if you do Shift Command or Shift Control Option and E, it throws all of the file, all these layers into one. All right. So again, you don't have to do this, but I'm just want to show you that some of the power that Photoshop has gotten in 2021. So again, I'll undo that. So if you want to take both these layers and combine them into a new one, Shift Control Alt E on a Windows, Shift Command Option E on a Mac. And so then you just have all those layered into one, merged into one layer. Now, the interesting thing under your properties here, we did the remove background and things like that. That's not what I want to do. Click View More, and you'll see some other options that you have. So if you want to, say, smooth her skin, she's got some, you can see all the pores and things of her skin. Let's do a smooth skin action here on it. Well, it's not really an action, it's just an adjustment. So I'm going to hit Apply. When you apply it, it may ask you to download a neutral filter. Just say yes, and it'll apply it to it. So I'm going to hit Apply. We'll watch it happen there. Okay. So now if I zoom out, if you can kind of see the difference between having the neutral filter on or the smoothing on or off. Okay. There's all kinds. You can kind of play around with it. You could also add like a quick vignette around your image if you wanted. Very simple to do using these little quick actions. They're called smart filters. So if you decide that you want to add that extra layer, that's fine. You're going to go up here before you save this, and you're going to make sure that the image size is only 500 pixels wide. That'll save space when you're trying to upload it, especially if you've added this extra layer. Gosh, what a difference. All right. So we'll save that out as a Photoshop document. Non-destructive, we'll call it Mike Brown. Of course, you'll use your name, and we'll save yes. And then it will show up there on your desktop. That'll be the file you upload. Reach out if you have any questions.